Hello everyone. So we are here again to discuss one the poetry devices of one another poem of class plus 2 CBSE, and that is My Mother at 66, and this is the first poem of Flamingo, and it's quite interesting poem as My Mother at 66 is consist of 18 lines, but it is a single sentence poem, and the fact is that it has lots and lots of commas and full stops are there is no one single full stop is used by the poet. It we can say that it is uninterrupted thought of the poet, that is Kamala Das. So as I told you that around 18 lines are over there, so I have divided them into three parts, so 6 to 7 lines would be there in a particular section. So let's discuss the poetry devices of the poem My Mother at 66, written by Kamala Das. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin like last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors, open mouth, her face ashen like that of a corpse and realized with pain. So these are the first 6 lines that I have taken from the poem, and let's discuss the poetic devices that has been used by the poet, that is Kamala Das. So here in this particular, in the first 6 lines, the poet has used around two poetic devices have been used. The first one is the rhyming scheme and the next one is simile. So rhyming scheme, as far as rhyming scheme is concerned, this particular poem is written in free verse. And free verse means what? That free verse is a kind of thing where no uh, rhyming scheme is used. It means the author, the poet, has never used or gone with the classical method. And the modern poets, especially the 21st century poets or the 20th century poets, they used to write in this format because they don't have that much time. So we can say that the rhyming scheme is free verse. Free verse means there is no rhyming scheme at all in this particular poem. Now the next poetic device that has been used here, it is simile. So simile means, as we have already discussed, and if you have any query, you can go with the other videos which have been published by me on my YouTube channel, GSC English Tutorial, and you can go with the other poetic. I have made presentations on different poems which are there in the class plus 2 syllabus and even in class plus 1 also. So you can just go through the channel and you can subscribe it, and you can go through the for latest updation also. So see, driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, open mouth, her face ashen like that of. See, now this is the place where I just want to concentrate. Why? Because here, see, her face ashen like that of. Her face ashen like that. It means what? Here like has been used. Wherever we use like or one more word is there, yes, that is as. If we use that these kind of words, especially in a particular comparison, that is called as a simile. And it means what? Now see, as I told you that it has lots of has around 18 lines, but it is a single sentence poem. So in the first 6 lines, you can observe, you can see, if you have analyzed the things, that lots and see comma is there, again comma again. So we can say uninterrupted thoughts. It's a train of thoughts that a daughter has for her mother. So the first poetic device is rhyming scheme, because there is no rhyming scheme. See, parents, Friday, mother, they are not synchronizing with each other, so there is written in free words. And the second one is the simile, that her face ashen like that of. Now why is the face compared, now why is the face compared to ashen? Ash means the raw material that is left after being there, it is grayish in color. Her face ashen like that of a corpse. The gray color of ash is associated with the dead body. So we can say that the ash here is a symbol of what? It is a comparison with the dead body. So the poet has directly compared ash with the dead body. It means her mother is alive, but physically she might be alive, but as far as her mentality, as far as her other thinking is concerned, she is almost dead. It means she's in her she's in the kind of age where she's about to die. It means she's just inching forward toward her death. So triggers the pain of losing her mother who is close to death. So the triggers the pain. So the poet has, and why this particular comparison has been made, because now when she compared her with the ash, and ash is compared to dead body, and it means that her mother was sitting beside her, but the thing is that she had a kind of fear in her mind, and that was a childhood fear, as you have learned the poem, that the and what was that losing her mother. So she just compared her mother with the ash, which is again compared to a dead body. And it means two poetic devices, rhyming scheme and simile, has been used in the first 6 lines by the poet. Let's move on to the next section. That she was as old as she looked up, but soon put that thought away and looked at young trees sprinting in the married children spilling out of their homes, but after the airports. So again, few lines have been taken by me. So let's discuss whether the poetic devices have been used or not. Yes, lots and lots of poetic devices have been used, and the first one is personification, the next one is symbol, another one is imagery. Now what is personification? Yes, if you have gone through the poetic devices, personification, it means you are giving human qualities to non-living things and animals. Now, can we give human qualities to non-living things and animals? Yes, surely we can give these qualities. For example, if I say that the dog is smiling, so the dog smile is not a kind of thing which is adorned by the dogs, but I have given a human quality to the dog. The dog is smiling. The curly clouds. See, the clouds, they are not never curly, but I have given that they are in the form of those bunches, those rings, that it means a kind of imagination is there in my mind. So that is called as personification. And where is personification used in the poem? And it is in young trees sprinting. See, if I have to locate it, I will just circle it. Young trees sprinting. Young is there, trees sprinting. See, young trees is fine, but sprinting means the one who runs very fast. Okay, sprinting is a human quality, running is a human quality, but can the trees they run? So this kind of quality has been given in the poem by the poet, and if so are given human quality. The sprinting movement of trees signify youth, life, and passage of time. So again, the sprinting movement means sprinting, the person is moving, the trees they are moving, and in general they are just standing at their own place. It was the cart that was moving, but it is a kind of implication by the poet, and it signifies what? It signifies youth, it signifies life, and it signifies the passage of time. And passage of the time in the sense, see, again this particular word trees sprinting, it is also a symbol. Also symbol of what? It symbolizes period of time, that time flies quickly, that it is just a passage of time. She was in her childhood, her mother was very young, she was very beautiful, but now that passage of time has been there. It is in the fraction of time the mother has become very old, and the poet, she is quite depressed, she is quite she is quite fearful for her mother. Why? Because she knew that it could be last meeting with her mother. So, and if I have to locate all these things in the poem, and where can I locate? See, it is given rightly over here. If I have to locate it, see, trees sprinting, the merry children spilling. So trees sprinting, why the comparison has been made trees sprinting with, see, because the trees they are sprinting, they are moving, and similarly simultaneously the merry children they are spilling out of their homes, but after the airport. So let's discuss another one. And now what is that? Imagery. Merry children, as I have already located it in the stanza. Merry children spilling out of their homes, they are coming out of their homes. Children are exuberant and youthful. So see, children, if I have to just just speak, or if I have to define children in one thing, that will be childhood, and childhood is always compared with spring. And spring means what? Lots of energy, lots of greenery, lot of freshness, everything is there. So here the children they are compared to the spring of life, which is in contrast to the atmosphere in the side the car. See, the mother and the daughter, it means the poet and her mother, they are sitting in the car, and suddenly the poet, she looks outside the car and she finds that the children they are very happy there, because they are free of anxieties, they are free of worries, they have no tensions at all. But inside the car, the mother is in her 60s and she is about to die. She is just inching forward towards her death. Gradually, slowly, she is inching to her, and it has created a kind of fear in the mind of the poet. So that is imagery, and imagery is always a kind of thing. Imagery is always divided into 5 sections. It is all about the senses, and here, merry children, just close your eyes, just look about the merry children, just you will find that broad smile, the captivative smile that the children has. It doesn't matter which caste creed they belong, no, but it is the smile, it is the energy, it is the exuberance, it is the youthfulness of the children which always attracts. And similarly the poet was also attracted towards the children. So let's move on to the last section. Security check. Standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar act, my childhood fear. But all I said was, "See you soon, Amma." All I did was smile and smile and smile. So again, let's see whether the poetic devices have been used or not. Yes, and lots of poetic devices have been used. And what the first one is simile, the second one is symbol, and the next one is repetition. Simile, as I said, that it is a direct comparison, and here the poem is all about the mother. So here again the mother is directly compared to what? She is compared to late winter's moon. Now late winter's moon means what? That why the late winter's moon have been compared? The first thing is that how many seasons do we have? We have 4 seasons. Okay, if I have to start, I will start from spring, then comes the summer, then it is followed by rainy season, or we can say autumn, or last one is the winter. So it is this last season of the cycle of the seasons. Okay, so what is the idea behind this? She is reinforcing the idea that the mother's face is pale and lifeless, like that of a dull winter's moon. And why is it dull winter's moon? Because it has lots and lots of fog is there in the winters, so a lot uncertainty is there, and there is no clarity in the life that how long is it going to be there. So that's why she has been compared to winter's moon. Again, one more thing is there. Again, winter is a symbol of what? Symbol of sea. Again, winter here is used as a season. Season is full of fog, which reflects uncertainty. It is also the last cycle of the season, because it comes in the end of the month, end of the calendar year, hence indicative of imminent death. So it means she has reached the final stage of her life and she is about to die. So again, simile is used in the same word. If we take the whole clause, a late winter's moon, okay, as a late winter's moon, if we take the whole clause, then it will be simile. And if we generally take late winter's moon only, if we just remove as, then it will be converted into a symbol. Just keep the one thing in the mind. And the last thing is repetition. So repetition means it is in the last line. If I have to locate it, see, if I have to go with the thing, it's see, smile and smile and smile. See, this is the like smile and smile and smile. And generally the students, they ask me one question, that what is the basic difference between anaphora and repetition? So repetition is a full sentence. It is specially observed in chorus. Okay, and for example, in the movie songs, and in the first and it in general, if we have to speak in Hindi, it is called as mukhra. Okay, the introductory lines, the first line of that particular stanza, okay, it is again repeated and repeated in different stanzas also. So repetition is that it means the whole sentence can be repeated. But in case of anaphora, in the two consecutive lines, the first word or only one or two words, they match with each other, or they are similar to each other. And that is the basic difference between anaphora and the another one is repetition. So here smile and smile has been used. And what is the meaning of this? Smile and smile and smile. See, smile and smile and smile. It emphasizes on the fact that she made a desperate effort to hide her anxiety and agonizing. Agonizing means which gives you a lot of pain, which is quite painful. Thought of her mother's death, and that was her childhood fear. And since her childhood, she was in a kind of fear that when the mother will grow old, or she will become very old and she is going to lose her, what will be the scenario? And that scenario she has reached the same situation, same position here, putting up a smile to bid her a cheerful and happy adieu. So she just wanted to motivate herself that no, yes, she is going to live, or she is going to see her mother again. But internally she knew that she is totally shattered and could be the last meeting with her mother. So it is a kind of consoling smile. We can say it was a consoling smile which was given to the mother, that yes, we are going to see each other once again. But internally the poet knew very well that it could be the last meeting with her mother. So these are the poetic devices which has been used here. So if you want to go with the other poetic devices for the different other poems for class +1 and class +2 specially, so you just subscribe my channel, and I have already published the videos on different poems which are in class +2 and class +1. You just go and like and share and subscribe with your friends. So that's all for today. Thanks a lot.